Welcome back to this series of Excel highlight videos. My name is Kathy Barker and this is Software Solutions. This video I'd like to have a look at formulas and functions, and the real strength of a spreadsheet is its ability to calculate results. And Excel actually has 514 built-in functions. This is its real strength. Now there's a variety of ways that you can insert functions into Excel, but I want to show you what I believe is the best way to insert it. First of all, I want to put some functions at the foot of these columns. And before I do so, I actually want to freeze some of these top rows. So I'm going to sit here in B4. The idea is wherever you're sitting when you go to turn on freeze panes, whatever's above you and to the left of you will be frozen. So I'll sit here in B4 or even A4. No, B4 because that's protected. Oh, I'll actually have to unprotect the sheet, excuse me. So I'm going to right click targets, unprotect the sheet, and it needs the password which I put on as CB, my initials in lowercase. So now I've unprotected the sheet. Now I might actually click in A4 and I'll go into view and I'll choose freeze panes and freeze panes. I don't want to freeze just the top row or just the first column. I actually want to freeze the top 1, 2, 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. So I'm choosing freeze panes. And in fact, I might right click this button and add it to my quick access toolbar so it's there, and it means I can go home, and if I need to manage my freeze panes, I've got a handy button here. Now, having frozen the panes, you can just see a little bit of a line going across here, which is implying that the first 3 rows are frozen, and I can scroll down and I can scroll up and I won't lose the first 3 rows. Okay, so let's go to target G3. I'm going to go control down arrow to the bottom of the list and then one more sort of drop down here. Okay, I might actually adjust the width of that column and then double click, double click, double click to bring the height up. What I want to do at the foot of target is I actually want to average the target, and I want to sum the actual values, and I want to count the deadlines or the last names actually. Okay, let's start with sum. I'm going across to I274. I start with equals and I press S. All the functions that begin with S suddenly appear. And this lets you see just how many functions there are. So then I'm going to type U, which drills down to all the functions beginning with SU. If I click on sum, then it gives me a brief explanation that the purpose of this function is to add up all the numbers in a range of cells. If I double click sum, I'm basically accepting that function. So click once for a brief explanation, double click to accept it. Now if you need help on a function, when I rest on sum here, I get a blue sort of hyperlink. And if I click that, then that brings up the help. And I have to say the help in these versions of Office is very good compared to earlier days. You've got examples, you've got a video, you've got syntax, you've got best practices, you've got frequently asked questions. Really, really well designed. So you can get help, or you've got me if you get stuck. But ignoring that for the moment, I'm in the process of sum. So now I want to sum up all these numbers. So I'm just going to scroll up to the top, click the first, and in fact scroll down, highlight down, and just highlight all the numbers I want to sum. And down to there. So I'm talking about I4 to I273. That is what I want to sum, all those numbers. So when I press enter, that is the total of all the actual sales, 403,740. Now let's say I want the average of the target. I go across to here, G274. I press equals. Then I type A. A triggers all the functions in Excel out of 514 that begin with the letter A, and if I go V, then it drills down to those that begin with AV. I click once on average and it tells me it returns the average of its arguments. Arguments are numbers. If I double click average, I'm basically saying I want it. Now I'm going to go and choose the cells I want to select. So I've gone control up arrow, and then I'll get myself positioned, and then control shift down arrow. And that's it. Enter. And that is the average of G4 to G273. I can double click that cell, and there you see the function, and press escape. I can double click this cell, see the function, press escape. Another quick little shortcut as well is if you do want to see the functions, let me just get rid of this help. If I go to formulas, there's a button called show formulas. And when you click it, it literally shows you the formulas in a spreadsheet. Doesn't matter where you're sitting, it just reveals all those formulas in the spreadsheet. And I can turn off show formulas by clicking the button again. This button I might right click and add to my quick access toolbar so I can immediately see and hide formulas as I want to. Last function I want to put in is maybe I want to know how many entries there are. So I'm just going to go over to here and go equals COU. That is count. Double click count, control up arrow, and again down arrow, control shift down arrow. And there it is counted how many deadlines we've got. So the real strength of a spreadsheet is its ability to calculate. That's 3 functions, but it's got an awful lot of functions. Very, very, very powerful calculating program. Come back for the next video.